Hello everyone, we are from Six Group. Today we will present about literal translation. Introduction. The present exercise emphasis in linguistics on discourse analysis is resulting in the corresponding idea in translation theory that the only unit of translation is the text, and that almost any deviation from literal translation can be justified in any place by appealing to the text as an overriding authority. The prevailing orthodox is leading to the rejection of literal translation as a legitimate translation procedure. Varieties of close translation. It may be useful to distinguish literal from word-for-word and one-to-one translation. Word-for-word translation transfer SL grammar and word order as well as the primary meanings of all the SL words into the translation, and it is normally effective only for brief, simple, neutral sentences. He works in the house now. Il travaille dans la maison maintenant in one-to-one translation or broader form of translation. Each SL word has a corresponding TL word, but their primary isolated meanings may differ. Thus, in puzzle annexment, take an exam 1, the two verb couples can be said to correspond with each other, but out of context, they are not semantic equivalents, since one-to-one translation normally respect collocational meanings, which are the most powerful contextual influence on translation. It is more common than word-for-word translation. Literal translation goes beyond one-to-one translation including slightly correct, dermat, and correct as literal equivalents. It is particularly applicable to languages that do not have definite and or indefinite articles. Varieties of close translation mungkin berguna untuk membedakan literal dari kata demi kata dan terjemahan satu ke satu. Terjemahan kata demi kata mentransfer tata bahasa SL dan urutan kata serta arti utama dari semua kata SL ke dalam terjemahan, dan biasanya efektif hanya untuk kalimat netral sederhana yang singkat. Jadi dalam pelintas annexment take an exam 1, 2 bait kata kerja dapat dikatakan berkorespondensi satu sama lain, tetapi di luar konteks keduanya bukanlah padanan semantik, karena terjemahan satu ke satu biasanya mengacu pada makna kolokasi yang merupakan pengaruh kontekstual paling kuat pada terjemahan. Ini lebih umum daripada terjemahan kata demi kata. Terjemahan literal melampaui terjemahan satu ke satu, termasuk katakanlah keberanian, dermot, dan keberanian sebagai padanan literal. Ini terutama berlaku untuk bahasa yang tidak memiliki artikel pasti dan atau tidak terbatas. The translation of poetry. The translation of poetry is the field where most emphasis is normally put on the creation of a new independent poem, and where literal translation is usually condemned. Theodoros Marilyn Cadiz, in her stimulating paper on Walter Benjamin, 1982, demonstrating Stephen George's superiority over Benjamin as a translator of Baudelaire's Ramleman, states that Benjamin's German translation goes into literal English more easily than George's and is not far removed semantically from a literal plain prose English translation of the original, and whereas Benjamin is working with the word, George works with a large prosodic unit, or George is the better translator in my experience. The greatest of all translators of poetry, but what I want to demonstrate is that he is more literal in his translation of the word as well as the structures. Compare Gold's title Sammlung with Benjamin Verbreitung. Benjamin is way out. George is materially and figuratively close. Penerjemahan puisi adalah bidang di mana sebagian besar penekanan biasanya diletakkan pada penciptaan puisi independen baru, dan di mana terjemahan literal biasanya dikutuk. Faithful and false friends. The translation of object and movement is usually more literal than that of qualities and ways of moving. Many common adjectives of feeling cut up meaning in their own way, so that we cannot trust a transparent translation of sincere, loyal one, trivial, important, truculent, brutal. Only one or two, like excellent one and marvelous, are usually transparent, and again the more general and abstract word, phenomenon, element, affair, may or may not be translated transparently. There is often a shift at that abstract level, quality as properly, but the translation is still usually one-to-one. In general, there are more faithful friends than folks Amish, and we must not hesitate to use them, since any other translation is usually wrong. This presupposes that in context the readership of O and T have similar interests and language levels. Words in their context. All the same, we do translate words because there is nothing else to translate. There are only the words on the page. There is nothing else there. We do not translate isolated words. We translate words all more or less. and sometimes less rather than more, but never not at all, bound by their syntactic, collocational, situational, cultural, and individual ideal context. That is one way of looking at translation, which suggests it is basically lexical. This is not so. The basic thought-carrying element of language is its grammar, but since the grammar is expressed only in words, we have to get the words right. The word must stretch and give only if the thought is threatened. Nowadays force how close these translations are, and they could even be closer, being in some cases elegant and unnecessary, for it is on the original, which is presumably English. For example, maize in Vicenza equally in 1C, which is blurred by Max Egualigato. Secondly, syntactical changes in the translation appear to be precipitated by the lack of a suitable word for Abilene. Semua sama, kami menerjemahkan kata-kata karena tidak ada lagi yang bisa diterjemahkan. Hanya ada kata-kata di halaman itu, tidak ada yang lain di sana. Kami tidak menerjemahkan kata-kata yang terisolasi. Semua menerjemahkan kata-kata semuanya lebih atau kurang, dan kadang-kadang lebih sedikit daripada lebih, tetapi tidak pernah sama sekali. Terikat dengan konteks sintaksis, kolokasi, situasional, budaya, dan individu ideologikal mereka. Itu adalah salah satu cara untuk melihat terjemahan, yang menyerahkan itu pada dasarnya leksikal. Tidak demikian, unsur dasar bahasa pembawa pemikiran adalah tata bahasanya.
Translation test (PTT). The validity of literal translation can sometimes be established by the back translation test. A black frame should translate back centrally as on Gardner Ainsworth's recommend. The back translation test is not valid in the case of SL or GL lexical gaps. Thus, a murky street, a brick vision, or one-person Maldives will not translate back satisfactorily, but the literally discats of his time will never translate back satisfactorily into less modest literally dissonant terms. Note also that the figurative element in language militates against literal translation when it is cultural or a stock metaphor, but favors literal translation when it is universal and or original. Jadi, validitas terjemahan kadang dapat ditentukan dengan tes terjemahan balik. Secara kasar, bingkai hitam harus diterjemahkan kembali secara terpusat sebagai uncadnor. Tes terjemahan balik tidak valid dalam kasus celah leksikal, SL atau TL. Jadi, jalan yang suram, penglihatan yang cerah, atau one-person Maldives tidak akan diterjemahkan kembali dengan memuaskan. Tapi, sastra mendikte masanya tidak akan pernah menerjemahkan kembali memuaskan ke dalam lesmode. Literaries the sometimes perhatikan juga bahwa elemen kiasan dalam bahasa bertentangan dengan terjemahan literal. Ketika itu adalah metafora budaya atau stok, tetapi lebih menyukai terjemahan literal ketika itu universal dan atau yang aslinya. Accepted translation. Some transparent institutional terms are translated literally in a less Western European language even though the TL cultural equivalents have widely different function. Thus President, Senate, Prefect, Chancellor, Major note also that concept words such as radicalism or realism are translated literally and often misleading, as their local connotations are often different. Any core denotative meaning is swamped by the connotative pragmatic meaning. The terms are normally so important in their relation to the TL cultural that a literal translation rather than transference is indicated. A translated word more than a transferred in one is incorporated at once into the target language. However, for new institutional terms, a translator must be careful about translating the terms directly into the TL if they already exist but have quite different function in the TL culture. Jadi terjemahan diterima. Beberapa istilah kelembagaan transparan diterjemahkan secara harfiah setidaknya dalam bahasa Eropa Barat meskipun padanan budaya TL memiliki fungsi yang sangat berbeda. Jadi presiden, senat, kepala daerah, kanseler, wali kota. Perhatikan juga bahwa kata-kata konsep seperti itu karena radikalisme atau realisme diterjemahkan secara harfiah dan seringkali menyesatkan karena konotasi lokalnya sering berbeda. Makna denotatif inti apapun dibanjiri oleh makna pragmatis konotatif. Istilah-istilah ini biasanya sangat penting dalam hubungannya dengan budaya bahasa sehingga terjemahan literal daripada transferensi ditunjukkan kata yang diterjemahkan lebih dari kata yang ditransfer dimasukkan sekaligus ke dalam bahasa target. Namun, untuk istilah kelembagaan baru, seorang penerjemah harus berhati-hati dalam menerjemahkan istilah-istilah tersebut langsung ke dalam BSA. Jika sudah ada tetapi memiliki fungsi yang cukup berbeda dalam budaya BSA. Literal translation 75. Also that concept words such as radicalism or realism are translated literally and often misleadingly as their local connotations are often different. Any core denotative meaning is swamped by the connotative pragmatic meaning. The terms are normally so important in their relation to the TL culture that a literal translation rather than transference is indicated. A translation word more than a transferred one is incorporated at once into the target language. Terjemahan literal 75. Juga konsep kata-kata seperti radikalisme atau realisme diterjemahkan secara harfiah dan seringkali menyesatkan karena konotasinya seringkali berbeda. Makna denotatif inti apapun dibanjiri oleh makna pragmatis konotatif. Istilah-istilah ini biasanya sangat penting dalam hubungan dengan budaya BSA, sehingga terjemahan literal daripada transferensi ditunjukkan kata yang diterjemahkan lebih dari kata yang ditransfer dimasukkan sekaligus ke dalam bahasa target. Constraints on literal translation. The SL word may be used more frequently within the register, have a wider semantic range than the corresponding TL word. Thus, Cardis may translate as effrontery, as well as varying positive, honorific depending on the context, but plain which appears almost to coincide in frequency and semantic range with the plain will always translate as plain unless it is the alternative spelling of la plain. If the perfectly natural SL unit produces a clumsy literal translation, it's an far-fetched CD Jaeger the surface as he wasn't succeeding in freeing himself from his surprise, then the translation is wrong. However expressive the rest of the SL text, he was unable to rid himself of his feeling of surprise. He couldn't overcome his surprise. Batasan terjemahan literal. Kata SL dapat digunakan lebih sering dalam register, memiliki jangkauan semantik yang lebih luas daripada kata TL yang sesuai. Jadi, Cardis dapat diterjemahkan sebagai effrontery atau merendahkan, serta varying positif kehormatan, tergantung pada konteksnya. Tapi Laplain yang muncul hampir bertepatan dalam frekuensi dan rentang semantik dengan the plain akan selalu diterjemahkan sebagai plain, kecuali itu adalah ejaan alternatif dari plain. Jika unit SL natural sempurna menghasilkan terjemahan literal yang kikuk. Misalnya, dia tidak berhasil membebaskan dirinya dari keterkejutannya, maka terjemahannya salah. Betapapun ekspresifnya sisa teks SL, dia tidak dapat melepaskan diri dari perasaannya. Kejutan dia tidak bisa mengatasi keterkejutannya.
Natural translation. However, there are all kinds of insidious resistances to literal translation. You may feel it is not translation. It is mechanical, it is automatic, it is humdrum, it is not clever. You have been told at school not to practice it. It does not enrich your knowledge either of the resource of the target language. It is too easy. We have to resist these arguments. A part of translation, inaccurate translation, the only valid argument against what I might find an acceptable literal translation of an ordinary language unit is that you find it unnatural. Recreative translation. Recreative translation, contextual recreational as Dallas calls it, which means wrongly translating the rogue behind the words, sometimes between the words or translating the subtext, is a procedure which some authorities and translation teachers regard as the heart of the central issue of translation. Get as far away as possible from the words. The third is the opposite. Interpret the sense, not the words, is to my mind. The translation resource, an essential resource, certainly a touchstone of his linguistic sensitivity and creativity, not to mention his alertness and perspicacity when words mislead. Further contextual recreation is likely to be more common in interpretation if delegators are speaking off the cuff, and then written language translation where words are more carefully measured and perhaps closer to thought. But most translation is not creative in this sense. You have to like struggling with words before you reach the longer passengers. Literary translation. The subtext. Michel Mayer has made much of the concept of the subtext, what is implied but not said, the meaning behind the meaning. Ibsen, he writes, is a supreme master of subtext. Almost all his main characters are deeply inhibited people and arts. And at certain crises they are bound to bear with what they fear, and talk evasively, saying one thing but meaning another. To an intelligent reader, the true meaning behind the meaning is clear, and the translator must word the sentence in such a way that subtext is equally clear in English. The above statement is in fact a plea for accuracy, and the implication is that the translation should not go beyond the words of original by promoting the subtext to the status of the text. The notion of the non-equivalent word. The difficulties of literal translation are often highlighted not so much by linguistic or referential context as by the context of cultural tradition. Bigot wrote that about 130 years ago that language is the tradition of nation. People repeat phrases inculcated by their fathers, true in the time of their fathers, but now no longer true. If you consider Faust's famous struggle to translate the word logos, a word that virtually context-free and therefore has to be translated for itself. To write off as untranslatable a word whose meaning cannot be rendered literally and precisely by another word is absurd, particularly when it should at least be better delineated by computational analysis into 4 or 5 words, told as footnote, not in the text of the play. The role of context. Context is omnipresent, but it is relative. It affects the technical terms and neologisms less than general word. It permeates a structured text and touches disjointed text rather lightly. Where a writer deliberately innovates, the translator has to follow him and blow the context. A translator with his eyes on his readership is likely to under-translate, to use more general words in the interest of clarity simply and sometimes brevity, which makes him omit to translate words altogether. Role konteks. Konteks ini berada di mana-mana tetapi relatif. Ini mempengaruhi istilah teknis dan neologisme kurang dari kata-kata umum. Ini menembus teks terstruktur dan menyentuh teks terputus-putus dan agak ringan, di mana seorang penulis dengan sengaja berinovasi dan penerjemah harus mengikuti penulis dan mengartikan konteksnya. Seorang penerjemah yang sangat banyak pembacanya cenderung kurang paham untuk menggunakan kata-kata yang lebih umum demi kejelasan, kesederhanaan, dan terkadang singkat yang membuatnya mengabaikan untuk menerjemahkan kata